I'm Dan, I'm an addict.
Hi, Dan.
I'll be open this meeting with a moment of silence, followed by the reversion. Thank you. God,
Grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
welcome to the Unity, Not Uniformity workshop. And it says here that I need to read the 11th tradition, which is our public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. We need to always maintain personal anonymity at the level of press, radio, and films. If anyone is present representing the media agency, please contact your AE. The members of North Central Indiana area of Narcotics Anonymous welcome you to the second annual We Grow with Love convention. We would like to thank you for joining with us in this celebration of recovery. We are deeply grateful to Narcotics Anonymous and find great joy in being able to express our gratitude here with you, our family. In Narcotics Anonymous, we are certain that when we come together to share our lives and our love with each other, a miracle happens. Our recovery takes hard work, courage, and commitment. Those are the things that carry us through as we seek the spiritual growth that comes from working the 12 steps. Never alone. We do this together and for each other, knowing that we need each other. Because more than anything else, we grow with love. The preface to the basic text begins, the full fruit of the labor of love lives in the harvest. And that always comes in the right season. For us, the season has come. I've asked a friend to read, Why Are We Here?
My act named Devin.
Hi, Devin.
Why are we here? Before coming to the fellowship of NA, we could not manage our own lives. We could not live and enjoy life as other people do. We had to have something different, and we thought we'd found it in drugs. We placed their use ahead of the welfare of our families, our wives, husbands, and our children. We had to have drugs at all costs. We did many people great harm, but most of all, we harmed ourselves. Through our inability to accept personal responsibilities, we were actually creating our own problems. We seemed to be incapable of facing life on its own terms. Most of us realized that in our addiction we were slowly committing suicide. But addiction is such a cunning enemy of life that we lost the power to do anything about it. Many of us ended up in jail or sought help through medicine, religion, and psychiatry. None of these methods was sufficient for us. Our disease always resurfaced or continued to progress until in desperation we sought help from each other in Narcotics Anonymous. After coming to NA, we realized we were sick people. We suffered from a disease from which there is no known cure. It can, however, be arrested at some point, and recovery is impossible.
Thanks,
Dan.
We have two speakers up here. The first one from Clinton, Iowa. I met her last year here and heard her share a few times then, and when I found out she was going to be the speaker here tonight, I was anxious to hear what she had to say about unity. Without any further ado, Nancy.
Thanks, Dan. Hi, everybody. I'm Nancy. I'm an addict. And like a truly good little addict, since I got the thing through the mail that said Unity, Not Uniformity. I said, oh, shit. I don't really want to talk on this. You know, why couldn't it be something else? And as I came to read out of the How It Works, How and Why on the first tradition, and do my little journaling that I've got here, because like a good addict, I have to write things down, because otherwise I don't remember shit. And I came to understand that I needed to know what unity was. You know, and I know what disunity is, because we go through this as addicts. And but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm going to share a little bit about what I read, and then I'm just going to free share. Through the book, it says that unity is the spirit that joins thousands of members around the world in a spiritual fellowship that has the power to change lives. God, that's profound. You know, we're all part of this, thousands of people worldwide. And I'm sorry I couldn't make it to the Chicago convention to get to see all the people there from the World Convention. But I don't care, just here. You know, everybody here has the power to change everybody else's lives just by meeting and bonding. We're a unified force here. We are the It Goes With Love Too convention. You know, and whenever you think about us, and you think about back being here, you're going to remember what somebody said, remember a smile somebody had, you know, or something that touched your lives that somebody shared, and that's going to unify you with all the people that are here, whether you're with them or not, you know, and that is truly spiritual, because unity is truly one of the ties that bind us together. As each individual member relies on the support of the fellowship for survival, so NA survival depends on its members. I couldn't imagine that this program would exist without people making sacrifices and doing a lot of service work so that we could all be together and function as a cohesive group. Each group is a strand in the supporting fabric of NA as a whole. Without that fabric, there would be no NA. And I can see us all as individual strands, or all as different pieces of a large mosaic, each individual tile a different color, a different shape. But when you put them all together, it forms a picture of us as a group, you know, and that picture can change and it can grow as you add more people. You know, and sometimes you lose a person, but you add a lot of people too, and that person comes back. The importance of our own unity encourages our groups to look beyond their own worlds to the common needs of the worldwide NA fellowship, placing the welfare of the whole before their own. That's kind of like sacrifice, you know. You do what's good for others or as a group rather than doing what's good for you. Because I know that when I came into this program, my best thinking got me here, you know, and my will is not always the best. But when I get together with a bunch of other addicts and we form a group conscience on different things, even if it's just about where we're going to go for coffee, you know, that's a group thing, you know, and that's cool. That surrender and acceptance open the door to unity. Unity asks us to surrender our own desires and accept guidance that enhances the greater good of NA. When we know that we belong to NA, we make a commitment to stay. We become part of the greater whole of NA. Okay, I'm not going to read this anymore. This is done. I also know I talk a little bit about uniformity. And I had a vision while I was writing this, sitting here this morning thinking about this, of all of us different addicts, and we're out there and we're circling around and we're doing our thing out in the sea of addiction. And we're trying to find a way to get clean, and we're struggling. And we're without hope, and we're morally bankrupt, spiritually, emotionally, and physically, you know, and we got nothing left inside. And somebody says, oh, if you go over here and you join that group of people, you're going to find salvation, okay, and you're going to get clean. But when you come in the group, if they were to tell you to do what they tell you to do, and do it the way that they say, and there's no deviance, and everybody's got to dress the same, everybody's got to look the same, everybody's got to act the same, then that's uniformity as far as I'm concerned. You know, that's one person's will. Whoever the trusted leader would be, they would be telling you how to behave and how to think and how to feel. And the wonderful thing about this program is there is no model of a recovering addict. An addict does not have to look like anybody, doesn't have to act like anybody. All you have to do is be yourself, you know. And it takes you a while to find out who that is, because I know that I buried myself for 20 years when I was using. And I had lost all conscious contact with my higher power, and I've lost all contact with who I was inside. I was just this lump of flesh that needed to use. That's who I was. That's the only thing I was. You know, and then when I came in the doors of NA, and I found the steps and I found the traditions, those are the things that helped me stay clean, you know. And then I found the unity in this program. You know, it's one addict reaching out and touching another one. It's, hey, I understand where you've been. You know, I've been there before. I'd like to let you know what worked for me. And through that, I came to realize that I'm not alone anymore. I don't have to be that lonely person that hides in my house for 3 days and won't go out and is afraid to talk to people or look people in the eye, or even get up here and share with you guys a little bit about my experience, strength, and hope. Because today I have those things, you know, and it's been by working these steps and following the traditions and going to meetings and keeping my ears open and doing what my sponsor says and listening to my higher power's will that I've come to understand that my world is a wonderful place to be today. You know, and I am so grateful to be here. And I was really honored to ask to be able to share, you know, because a lot of times I think that, You know, that little addict in me, oh, I'm not worthy. You know, I'm not good enough. The things I say aren't important. But it's not really me talking, it's my higher power talking through me. Because I have to open my mind and allow the words to come from inside. You know, if I sat and tried to figure out everything like a speech, then that's not going to be, it's not going to come out, it's going to be phony and rigid. And that's kind of what my existence was like when I was using. You know, because I was poured in this little mold and I had to get up when the drugs told me to get up or when I needed more, you know. I didn't have a higher power, I didn't have a free will. And today I have that through this program. And I know that the program works because I see it in all your eyes. I see it in the hope and the smiles and the acceptance that you have for who you are. You know, and being together as a group is really very special. And I'm grateful to be back here, and I'm grateful to meet all the new people that I've met. You know, and I'm hoping that you're going to keep coming back, because it works when we work it. Not when I work it, not when you work it, but when we work it. And it's the we of this program that keeps this program going. You know, because I can't function as an individual, and NA can't function without all of us, because we do the work, you know. We rely on our committees, we rely on chair people, we rely on regional service and all this other stuff, you know, service stuff that a lot of people don't like to talk about, but it's a part of this program and it does help, you know. And yes, we do have to have some organization, because otherwise we would be total chaos, because we are addicts and a lot of us are very self-willed, and I'm one of them. You know, and I need to understand that the greater good of the whole is more important than the thoughts of the one. You know, kind of sounds like Mr. Spock. Anyway, I don't know where that came from. Yeah, there's a little addict inside me, that's right. I'm just real grateful that we could all be here, and I'm real grateful that through this program that we've all found a way to stay clean today, and that we're all going to be here and be united through this fellowship. And hopefully we'll all see you back here again next year. And I'm just real glad to be here. Thanks, everybody. That's all I got.
Our next speaker is from Detroit, Michigan. And this is John.
Hi everybody, I'm an addict. My name's John.
Hi, John.
I really feel a part of, after being asked to share the workshop, it's like, I was real honored, you know. I never thought that I was worthy, you know, to say anything. And then unity and uniformity, I went, wow, what do I know about this, you know? I know that for me to think of uniformity and something that, you know, everybody being the same, it's like the wildest thing in my mind. You know, we're all so different. To me, it's crazy to think that anybody would try to put a label of everybody should be the same to be in a fellowship, you know. And as far as unity, you know, when I think of unity, I think of this place. You know, before I came here for the second year, it was like, this is real unity to me, for all these different states to get together, and the way that we treat the newcomer, or the people with the least amount of clean time, as opposed to the people with the most amount of clean time here. It's some real unity, you know. It was a real good feeling for me to see this young boy get a year, you know, yesterday. You know, it was like all the unity that I put together all year long was all worth it to watch him get that year. You know, that was some real unity for this second convention, you know. That was like the payoff that I was looking for, you know, and I still look for a payoff being a newcomer. You know, maybe that's bad, maybe it's good, you know, but I know that this fellowship has taught me how to feel again. This unity has taught me how to feel with my heart, you know, and I still look for a payoff, because I don't want to hurt all the time. You know, we have a meeting called Unity back home, and it's funny, I had to think about that, you know, and my addiction and my addictive thinking, you know, had this meeting labeled as a meeting where everybody had to be a certain way. That was a Friday night meeting, and everybody got dressed up and did things. When I came around, I didn't fit in. You know, I wasn't fitting in. you know, and after a while I was like, I'm getting my recovery, you know, and I'm a painter, and I'd go there in my painter's clothes, and I'd get stares from some people, and other people didn't matter, you know, and I don't know if it was all in my head or not, you know, but unity is there too, you know, if I'm going to look for it. And as I grew in the fellowship, it's like I need to accept everybody for just the way they are, you know, and that's some real unity, you know. I can't single somebody out by the way they look, you know, the way they act. I have to love everybody around here, because if I don't, I'm the loser, you know. I'm the one who's missing out on what those people have to give me, you know. And that's something I never thought I'd ever look at, you know. Never did I think that I could be that open-minded. You know, open-mindedness, you know, brings about unity, and open-mindedness changes from day to day around here if you hang around. It's just really amazing. Uniformity makes me think of, I don't know, a military base, a Catholic school, somewhere we all have to dress the same, and we'll never be that way, I don't think. I think the only thing that we have that's alike is that we were all out there in that pain, you know, and if we can all come in here and get the unity of the love of everybody, you know, that unconditional love, that's where it's all about, you know. Committees like this and conventions like this get put together by you know, people that all work together, and it just seems like it just works out. You know, I do some service work, and I watch things get put together, and I'm part of them, and it's a real good feeling for me, you know. I've heard people preach about service work for a long time, and I tried it just because I had so much time on my hands and I didn't know what to do, and it's a high all in itself to do things for people and to work with people, you know. And I watch people fight and get clean time and never do it, and you know, and I look at them and go, well, maybe that's their loss too, you know. Maybe if they ever try it, they'll see what they're missing, you know. I was real scared when I came into the fellowship, and I found out that all these suggestions that from all these people are all real valid. You know, you get what you put into this, you know, and we're all real scared to do that. You know, we're all scared to sit in front of a group of people and talk, you know. But when we're out there using, we get up and do some real wild things in front of who knows who, you know. But when we get clean, then we get shy, you know, and we have to work through that. You know, and the unity of this fellowship has taught me how to grow up, you know, how to interact with people all over again, you know, how to get my self-esteem back, you know. I feel pretty good today, you know. I feel like this is a vacation that I don't want to end, you know. I don't really want this to stop, but I know it has to. Reality sets in. It's like, you know, it's got to end like everything else. But I don't have a whole lot to talk about unity, except that it's here. I know I can feel it, you know, and this is the most perfect example that I know of unity, you know, of all these people coming together, and for fleeting moments that there are no prejudices around me, and there's no racial barriers around me, and it's just like everybody is one, you know, and the only thing that's talked about is how to get better, you know. No matter what situation somebody's in, their tools are getting better. Everybody's sharing their strengths, hopes, and experiences. You know, and it amazes me from day to day how I can relate more and more to everyone around me. You know, as the cloud of toxins come out of me day by day, I get a little bit smarter, you know, and a little bit more open-minded, and I can digest a little bit more of what's being said around here and take it at a deeper level. And that's about all I have. I'm really glad to share. Thanks.
Thanks,
Before I open the floor, I need to remind everybody that this is being recorded. If you don't want to be recorded, let me know and we'll have the recording equipment turned off. We're going to open it up for anyone that wants to share for a few minutes. And just either come up here or share from where you're at. Anybody has anything they want to say?
I'm an addict named Gary.
Hi, Gary.
This is my first convention I've ever been to. Today's my 46th day clean.
All right.
Yeah.
I'd like to start out with that because I've worked hard for these 46 days. I've had a lot of help. I'm 40 years old and I've been in the program before and did it for the wrong reasons. And materially wise, everything got good, my health got good, and my ego got real good, and I got real sick. And for the first time in my life, you know, I had more pain, a lot more pain. And the pain that got me back here, and what was shared here, you know, I feel for the first time in my life, and since I was a child, I feel my spirit, you know, I know it's connected. And I've never been this happy my whole life, ever. And I'm so grateful, and I can relate to what Tom was saying about don't want it to end. There's no way I want this to end, but I know it has to. And I've met a lot of people, and I've heard a lot of good stuff that has really touched my heart, and I'm very, very grateful for that. And I just want to thank everybody that's shared with me since I've been here, if they're in here right now, and the love that I felt that was given to me so freely, that I really, deep down in my heart, really appreciate it. That's about all I got.
Thanks, Gary.
Thanks, Gary.
I'm an addict called Bob.
Hi, Bob.
You know, we all have a common bond. And, you know, this disease and the feelings that go along with it, I think it's what ties us together. And, you know, our traditions help preserve that. And, to me, it's really important to let people be who they are. And, you know, to preserve this fellowship for when the newcomer walks in. You know, when I got clean, I couldn't identify on the level of feelings because I hadn't felt for a long time. You know, I just wanted to stop hurting. And this is the only place where I felt accepted when I got clean. I'd run out of options. I had nowhere else to go. And no other 12-step program welcomed me the way the Narcotics Anonymous did. And you know, I was pretty broke when I got here. I don't remember those first months real well, but I've been told I couldn't even really put a complete sentence together for a long time. And you know, I wasn't stylish, and I didn't have anything when I got here, like a lot of us are. But I was welcome. And I need to remember that when I'm dealing with people, whether they've been around for a while or whether they're just coming in. You know, my recovery has been enriched by people from different cultures and different backgrounds. When I was using, you know, I surrounded myself with people that were like me, and if you weren't like me, I didn't trust you. And I didn't trust the people that I surrounded myself with either. You know, there were the people I copped from, people I used with, and the people who took care of me that I used, you know, because I couldn't take care of myself. And that was it. And because we're not all alike, my life has been enriched. And, you know, I feel that I have a responsibility to not push people away. As I learned about the nature of this disease and the importance of our conditions, I learned to respect the language of our fellowship. And, I see people getting pushed away because they don't identify themselves right, or, they don't have a fundamental understanding of what our fellowship is about. And, the best way that I can help somebody in that area is by example, as opposed to outright confrontation. I need to do the best I can to make whatever meeting I'm attending a comfortable place, a safe place, like it was for me when I got here. And, it's really important for me to maintain it as a safe place for my own development. I feel real strongly that we have the responsibility to make anybody seeking recovery welcome. And if we were all the same, that atmosphere would be different. I think the unity comes from our common love. And that's, no matter what you do, no matter what you look like, you're an addict. And on some level, we can identify with each other. When I came in, I was likely to push everybody else away. I didn't need somebody pushing me away. I need to remember that in the way I conduct myself. I'm real glad to be here this weekend. This has been a real tremendous experience for me. Thanks for letting me share.
Thanks for sharing, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
I'm glad you're here.
Hi, my name's Mike, and I'm an addict.
Hi, Mike.
I'm grateful to be here and be clean today. John, there's one other place where you go where you find people in uniform, and that's in jail, in prisons, and institutions. And everybody wears the same thing. I'm grateful today that I'm not in either one of them. I know they stamp out coins and medallions for us, and we can't be stamped out. We're all individuals. We all work at different levels for those coins, and I know that's uniformity to me, is to try to stamp out people into something that we can't be. I mean, we're all individuals. We're all different. We all work a different program, and we're all unique, but we're all on the same team together. I mean, if I wear NA shirt as I'm a member of that team, but as far as uniformity, we don't want to be that. I guess we want to be individuals and have our own identity. And the unity part is what keeps me clean, is to be a member of the NA fellowship. We're a fellowship, not an institution, and I thank God for that. I know if I go back out there, that's probably where I'll end up. Homeless, jobless, penniless, and in desperation. And since I don't want any of those things today, I'm going to continue to keep coming back. That's all I got.
Thanks for sharing, Mike. I'm an addict named Dan.
Hi, Dan.
And yeah, I've been to those places where they dress the same, and I don't want to go back there. If I had needed to be in a certain category when I got here, referred to the uniformity, I know that I wouldn't have fitted in very long, because I've changed a lot since I've been here, and I'm glad they haven't kicked me out, because I'm different now. Unity, something that Nancy brought up. She wasn't able to make Chicago, and I was fortunate enough to be there. And the atmosphere there, especially at the Saturday night speaker meeting when I was told over 10,000 people there from every state in the Union and 13 other countries. And then for a unity prayer, they were hooked up with 5 other countries. And when I think of unity, that's the perfect example. And I was told when I come into this program that all I had to do was quit using to be a part of. They didn't tell me I couldn't get high anymore. That was the best high I ever had in my life. And this weekend has been really great too. The spirituality here, the togetherness, the unity, and just meeting new people and feeling a part of. Something that John brought up is the service work, and there's an area there that sometimes unity gets stressed a little bit. We got opinions and personalities involved, and different ways of doing things, and I've been a part of and watched several different things being organized and planned by a group of addicts since I've been here. And when it's all said and done, it comes together. They get that spirituality. The higher power steps in, and everything comes out for the better. From what I've seen, I hope that keeps continuing. And when I was asked to chair this workshop, I really, I didn't feel like I was worthy. I didn't want to turn it down because somebody thought that I was to ask me, and so I thought, thought about the topic a little bit, and all I could think of was what I've heard a couple people share already, and the unity of keeping the message clear for the newcomer. I can't keep the doors open myself, and I'm glad there was a group of addicts there holding the door when I got there. So I want to be part of that group for the next newcomer. And this T-shirt says it all for me, and for outreach. Together we can do it, and that's about all I got on that. And I'm really glad to be here. I've got a lot of gratitude for the program. It's working. Thanks for letting me share.
Thanks, Dan.
I'm Gary, I'm an addict.
Hi, Gary.
I've been our area's P&A chair for, 6 months or so, and I just got reelected to another term. And I understood going into that was that, at least for our area, they were electing me to understand the traditions and to be able to talk about the traditions. And the first tradition, naturally, is my personal recovery depends on NA unity. And I believe that as an absolute truth. One of the amazing things that I get is when I got here, I had no belief system. Like all of us, the only thing I believed was that I had to stay high. After taking the first step and having an understanding about myself, that having some kind of a belief system that hoped that something could be different in the future as I approached the second step was something that was given to me. This belief system that I rebuilt my life around, the spiritual principles of Narcotics Anonymous, I learned. I learned from meetings, from reading literature, coming to conventions. And that's the great thing about coming to conventions, is that everybody here is into their recovery. Everybody here is here because they want to be here, they'll pay to get here, they'll travel long distances to get here. We're into it, and it's just altogether different. And that kind of atmosphere is something that I pay to do. I pay to travel long distances to be around people that have that same belief system that I have. And I have plenty of room here. I mean, my personal recovery has lots of different beliefs that are different from everybody else's. But the principles of Narcotics Anonymous, the one that I can ask any one of you here, what's our primary purpose? Who's the most important person? What's the 12th tradition? I mean, it's second nature to us. And we all know that. It's the things that do bind us together. It's the things that are most important to us. It's what we depend on, what we count on to connect us to one another. I can't recover on my own. And I can't recover if we're all going different directions. And I got plenty of room to grow here in whatever direction that it's going to take me. But I've got that absolute faith that the spiritual principles of Narcotics Anonymous take me where I need to go. Being a P&A person is really it's really a neat experience, because what I do is try to understand not only what's good for me, but what's good for the fellowship. So I read the literature and try to understand the literature, and it just always blows me away how this stuff developed and how it's something that we can all live with. And it's important to all of us. Our main speaker last year, Richie, was at the World Convention, and he did a workshop on the first tradition. Like John and I might have been the only two persons there. This is at the World Convention now. And Dan was there. It was the first workshop in the morning, and at the World Convention there was maybe, I don't know, John Lake thinks 10 people there. And you know, I'm going there, and our main speaker's there, and I'm thinking that this place is going to be packed. Because some of those workshops, the workshop would have like 500 people in it in the afternoon. But this is a tradition workshop, and you know how tradition workshops are. So I go in the first one, and I'm all pumped up naturally, and this is me and John and Dan and a few other people. I think half the people in that workshop had been at this convention last year. And a lot of us were there to listen to Richie. And boy, the thing I like about that kind of a speaker is that they're hardcore NA. I mean, they just are what I call hardcore. They don't have time for anything but Narcotics Anonymous. And they have an understanding like I do that there's plenty of stuff out there. But when I rebuilt my life around this, then this is what I consider most important. This is what I want to do. So I really enjoy that kind of a speaker. Hopefully what I learned from everybody else and listening to everybody here, then that's the kind of message that I will hear. I mean, if I can give back just one little part of what was given to me at the end of my life, given all of the bad stuff that happened, if I can have just that little bit, I will consider myself a success. Thanks.
Thanks, Jerry. Anyone else like to share? If not, help me close with a group hug and a prayer.